AV in your ears, that's Ambush Vid, giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my boy Steve, Fascination Street, you already know, let's get it. When you whip in the Fascination Street, what do you...
Hi, this is Richard Kinky Big Dick Friedman. It's my full Christian name. And you are listening to the podcast Fascination Street.
AV in your ears, that's Ambush Vid, giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my boy Steve, Fascination Street, you already know, let's get it. When you whip in the Fascination Street, what do you...
Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is with JoJo Garza from Los Lonely Boys. In this episode, we get to know JoJo and talk about where he grew up and what got him and his brothers into music. We talk about the family lineage of music, from his dad and his mom to his uncle, and everybody in the whole world of music is related to these dudes. So we talk about all that. We talk about some of the instruments they play, some of the instruments that they're teaching their kids. Of course, we talk about Heaven, Los Lonely Boys' 2004 Grammy-winning song that really just took the world by storm, and all of the things that came with that. We talk really in depth about that. And we talk about their newest album, Resurrection. It's their first album in 11 years. As I say during this episode multiple times, this album is phenomenal. It's everything that you want a Los Lonely Boys album to be. They all brought new songs to the table. They put songs on there that they had been working on for years. It all works. It's all kick-ass. JoJo says that all three of them did it, but a little birdie told me that JoJo is actually the producer of this album. He had a little help from the other brothers, but sitting in the driver's seat was JoJo. He is the producer of this album, so to speak. They are on tour right now, all over New Mexico, Texas, Washington, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa, Illinois, Arizona, everywhere. Go check them out. They're on tour right now. Go to loslonelyboys.com to find tickets to a show near you. And do not pass up the opportunity to buy this new album, Resurrection. I asked JoJo if he would let me play my favorite track off that album, just to give you guys a taste of what the new stuff sounds like. Since he's the coolest dude ever, he agreed and lets me play it. And this is my conversation with JoJo Garza of Los Lonely Boys.
Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated.
Well, first of all, bro, what's up, dude?
How you doing, brother?
I'm so excited, man. I'm sure you hear this a lot, but you guys are part of the soundtrack of my life, man.
Oh, man. Thanks a lot, brother. Man, that means so much.
Born and raised in San Antonio, dude. You're huge here. Oh, my God. You know that. I don't got to tell you.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I mean, being from Texas, man, I mean, anywhere we go, really, man, it feels like just like we're home, brother. It feels just like home.
I bet. All right. Well, welcome to Fascination Street Podcast, JoJo Garza. What's up, man?
What's going on?
How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Actually, kids just got home from school a little bit ago, and we just got into their daily working on some instrument, drums for the little guy, and for the 13-year-old daughter, she's on piano. So I'm trying to be a teacher and a dad at the same time. That's pretty much what's going on at this particular moment. You know, we're getting ready for dinner time.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time out, man. And I know this was kind of a long time coming, a little bit of a back and forth, but very excited. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that right. This is JoJo Garza of Los Lonely Boys. What I like to do, JoJo, is I like to start from the beginning. It helps us understand how the guests got from where they were to where they are. So where were you born and raised, man? Where'd you grow up?
Well, we're from Snyder, Texas is where we're actually born, which is about an hour north of here.
Hold on. Did you say it's about an hour north of here?
Here in San Angelo.
Hey, nobody know where here is, dude. You got to say San Angelo.
Well, I'm in San Angelo, Texas at the moment. And so it's about an hour north of San Angelo, Texas. And then, you know, we moved over here when I was around 6, 7 years old, which was around 86, 87. You know, we've been here ever since. I mean, we left a couple times. We lived in Nashville for a good string, about almost 10 years.
Wait, who's we? The whole family or just you and your family?
Well, it was our dad and us three and our stepmom.
Oh, okay. So when you guys were kids.
Yeah, when we were kids. And so we went to Nashville for about 10 years. We actually lived in San Antonio for, I don't know, at least, somewhere within the range of 6 months to a year.
Oh, cool. Why?
Our dad was moving us, we were looking for that niche, and the music is what it was all about. I know that we had been playing at a place called Dripping Springs.
Yeah.
And just, man, I mean, anywhere and everywhere we could, man.
Okay, so this was when you guys were already playing, the 3 kids plus dad?
Oh, yeah. Well, we started playing. I mean, he started teaching us from, you could say from day one. From what I remember, it's just always been here, the music. From the stories I know, and Henry wrote his first song when he was about 4 years old.
Wow.
And it was a song about a girl leaving him, even though he never had a girlfriend or nothing like this, called She Left Me. And I'm pretty sure it was sheer influence from our dad, which is what he's told everyone, in the years and stuff. And, growing up, mom and dad were always singing together. We were always learning harmonies and we were learning singing. And of course, there was influences from music of both parents, music that we were listening to when we were really young. Our dad was still playing with his brothers at that time. And so we were hearing a lot of conjunto music, but he was also showing us already the Beatles and Ronnie Millsap, and he was showing us Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings and Elvis Presley, of course. We knew about Richie Valens ever since we were little. My dad and his brothers were playing La Bamba with accordion and bajo sexto and stuff, man. So those things had always been a part of our lives. And we started playing as a band around 89 maybe, because I left to Amarillo with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before I had left, our dad had acquired a set of drums, and Henry and I were teaching each other to play while Ringo was living with our mom. Anyways, Ringo and I swapped places. And when I came back, Ringo was drumming already like awesome. And so, Henry, of course, was playing the guitar. Dad was playing rhythm guitar and singing and stuff. And I came back, and Ringo was playing the drums, and there was no bass player. And so my dad strung up an old I forget what it's called, an SG or something like that, some old guitar. He strung it up with 4 strings, turned all the bass up on the amp, treble down. Lo and behold, the bass player was born.
I grew up with my dad being in bands. My whole life, my dad was in bands. He was in rock bands, and, he was a singer. He was the guitar player. And then at some point he switched to bass. And so now, for the last, 35 years, my dad's a bass player and singer in San Antonio.
Cool.
He moved a few years ago, maybe 15 years ago. He moved to Floribama, Alabama, Florida, wherever the hell he is.
Floribama.
That's what there's like a bar right there, and the state line goes through the middle of the bar.
Yeah,
it's called the Floribama. That's so crazy. Okay, so we're gonna talk about your family real quick. So, all right. Your dad, if I have this correct, he was with like Lupe Garza and Los Falcones. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. That was him and his brothers. His oldest brother is Lupe Garza.
And then your mom, her family, right, was like Los Hermanos Villanueva.
Exactly, brother. You're doing your.
Wait for it. I got more. Tell me if this is bullshit. Your uncle was a founding member of La Mafia?
That's absolute truth.
Get on out of the town.
He's in San Antonio.
Oh, well, tell him to drop by.
Okay, I'll need an address.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, real quick about him. Yeah, he's one of the founding members of La Mafia, but he also played with Jay Perez. He played with Albert Tiger Diaz. He played with Excelencia, was another big band that he was with. And then he also played with Max Baca and the Tex Maniacs. Mm-hmm. He's been around the music scene for a long time.
So you guys have music, like you said, like from birth, like it's in your blood. This is a weird question, and it's out of nowhere. How come nobody plays the accordion? The 3 of you.
That's not true. Henry plays accordion.
For real?
Henry plays accordion, yeah. We all learned to play a little bit of guitar, drums, bass, piano, and bajo sexto, because our dad was playing bajo when we were little. Of course, my mom's brother played bajo sexto, and he's amazing at it. And her dad also played bajo sexto and accordion. My dad's brother played accordion in Los Falcones, but the way Henry learned accordion wasn't traditional or wasn't like a normal way of learning the accordion. Believe it or not, we were jamming one night at a friend's house, we were just kind of hanging out and, sipping on a little beer or something, man. And I don't remember what, man. Maybe we were sipping on chocolate milk or something.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Is that a Blue Moon?
No, it is just a beer. It is a beer. We don't say names of beers because they don't pay me to. So it's just a beer.
My bad. Well, maybe we should talk to him about that. Anyways, man, he honestly, I'm not even kidding, bro. He just picked it up, and he did the same thing with a harmonica.
Really?
Yeah, and this is no BS, man. He picked it up and he could just play it. Now, I'm not saying he was playing like Jaime Los Chamacos or something like that. It was very basic stuff, but he got a quick understanding that night, and ever since he's been able to play it, man. The same with the harmonica, man. But like I said, we all play a little bajo sexto and stuff too, man. So
that's kick ass. Now I wait for one of y'all to start learning how to play the bagpipes.
Well, I wouldn't mind trying.
I have some questions that I'm really confused about, so I need you to help me out here.
All right.
You guys won a Grammy in 2003 for Heaven, right?
2004.
Was it okay? But it was on the 2003 album, but you won it in 2004. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do all of y'all get the Grammy, or is there just one Grammy? Y'all have to share it.
No, man. They gave us all one.
All right, cool. And where is it?
It's inside.
No, but where? Like, is it in the living room? Is it in the kitchen? Is it on your headboard?
It's in the living room area. Ringo keeps his on a real nice mantle, like a little, like a stand with light and stuff. It's really cool.
I would too. I would wear that shit around my neck.
I just keep mine on the shelf or right above the fireplace. But my 300 bowling ring, because I got a 300, now that is displayed in a big case.
Okay, so 2004 is when you guys won the Grammy. 2003 is when the album came out. But, and this might be wrong, but the internet told me that in 2002, you, JoJo Garza, was on American Idol?
No, me, Henry, and Ringo were on a show called Destination Stardom.
Was it like a Battle of the Bands or a Star Search? What was that?
It's like Star Search.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and we played Señorita on that. It was really cool, man. We met this dude who could ride a little bitty unicycle the size of a dime.
What?
I'll never forget that, man.
That sounds crazy.
We were in Hawaii for that. It was really cool, really great experience. But there was somebody on American Idol named Bryce something, and he sang the song Heaven on American Idol.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did he win? He should have won.
I don't think he won, man. I don't remember.
The internet also says you had something to do with Beverly Hills Chihuahua in 2008.
Yeah. We've had our songs in some movies, and Beverly Hills Chihuahua was one of the big names. One of the most recent, it was Edward James Olmos and George Lopez, where Edward James Olmos is like a retiring golfer, or he wants to play golf. George Lopez is sort of like the word would be an angel kind of being or something, and he helps him get back into the golfing scene. And I think they played Heaven on that movie.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, it was one of the most recent ones.
When something like that happens, I don't want a number, but when something like that happens, does just this big fat check show up at your house? No numbers. No numbers.
Well, I've never seen a big fat check. They're all really thin. Just being involved in those types of things is really cool for us. Honestly, when it comes to like pay and things like that, that's why we have a manager
Sure.
and a team that takes care of that. Because really and truthfully, man, we're not the kind of people that, we know we got to work for the dollar, but we're just not the kind that go like, oh, well, we need to get this or we need to get that or whatever. No, we're just not those kind of cats.
Oh, sure. Back to your, when you first started playing the bass and your dad gave you that sort of guitar and turned it into a bass.
Yeah.
Tell me about how Louis Johnson changed your world.
Oh, wow, man. You are doing some serious research.
Bro, I told you I was excited to talk to you, man.
So that had happened years later. That was right around the time where we went to that Destination Stardom Star Search thing.
Oh, okay.
That was right around that same time. The manager we had at that time was a photographer for Gibson Guitars.
Oh.
Gibson and Epiphone. And we drove with him to California to the NAMM show that year. I don't remember if it was close to my birthday or I don't remember. I don't think it was, but he just decided to gift me this because he known that Lewis Johnson, and the reason Lewis Johnson was one of my biggest heroes was because I had watched probably a 30-second, maybe 60-second clip of Lewis Johnson on this old VHS. It was like an instructional video, and it showed a bunch of different artists and stuff. And it was like 60 seconds of him just slapping and popping. And I went like, what is that? Who is that? Blah, 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 you know? And well, I found out who it was, and I kept trying to emulate what I thought he was doing. Anyways, yeah, that manager, he wound up hooking me up with a visit to the school that Lewis Johnson had there.
Oh.
And he had a martial arts school that was a bass academy because he was in the martial arts and he played the bass and stuff, right? And so, man, I sat there with him for, I don't know, 3 to 5 hours or something, man. And basically I had a lesson that day. And he had told me when I left, he said, nobody's ever been able to get as far as you did in the little amount of time that you did. And I was like, well, man, that means a heck of a lot. I showed him the little piece, and he was like, actually, JoJo, this is what I was doing.
Oh.
And then he showed me what he was really doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, man. And so I later, I adapted it to my playing and stuff like that. It was a very sad day when he passed, but I was so thrilled to get to meet him. Oh, I played Billie Jean.
Yeah.
And I played it right. And I was like, yeah, that's you. I didn't know that was you. And I played it. And he goes, actually, JoJo, this is how I played it.
Wait, that was him?
Yeah, man. And he showed me this trick he did, which a lot of people don't know. A lot of people think it's one string he's playing, but he does this double octave on the big G. So it's like blah, double octave, blah, 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 octave again. So when you listen to the song again, you'll hear the bass goes blah, 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 blah. And on those G's, he's hitting that octave. I was like insane. Anyways, that is absolutely true, brother.
Oh, that is kick ass. Oh my gosh. Wow. Thank you for that, dude. That was a nugget I did not expect to uncover. That is so dope.
Hey, Streetwalkers. Here's a word from our sponsors. Let's get back into it.
Your music is described as Texican rock and roll.
Yeah.
Did y'all make that up?
Well, honestly, we felt like we did at the time because we had never really even heard the word, and I don't know if it was us that did it. And then we started hearing about the word Texican more years later. But we decided the reason we called it Texican rock and roll was because the record label would not let us be considered all genres of music, because you know how they have genres that are basically separating what people do as musicians: your pop, your rock, your country, your hip hop, your rap, your heavy metal, whatever. We had asked them basically and kind of telling them we didn't want to be categorized into one category of music. And they were like, well, we had to pick one. And we basically said, well, if we have to pick one, we're going to make up our own and we're going to call it Texican rock and roll. That's where that came from.
Well, I love it. And that makes me ask, is there a band that's supporting you guys on this new tour called Texican Legacy?
I don't know if it's on the entire tour, but on some of the dates.
On some of the dates, yeah.
That's Ringo's son.
Oh, get out of here. Okay.
Yeah, Texican Legacy is fronted by Ringo Garza Jr. Ringo's son-in-law, Cody, plays the bass. And then they hooked up with this kid, Mel, who is actually really well known in the Tejano Conjunto scene of music for drumming. And that's Texican Legacy. The other band is called the Cristeros, and the Cristeros is Henry's sons.
Oh, my gosh.
And so we're at that point in time, because they're at a certain age where we're able to offer that, that sort of like foot in the door, if you will.
Yeah, some like actual support. That's really cool.
That's right.
Just real quick, I was watching the video for Send More Love, and there's a bunch of kids in that video. Is that all those kids?
They're in the video. Ringo's son is in the video, and I believe his son-in-law's in there too. But all of three of our kids are in the video. Ringo's wife, my wife, that little guy that I pick up, that's my youngest son. He just turned 6. His name is Yeshua. And Henry was by his grandson. And I don't know if his granddaughter was walking yet or not, but his grandson was in there. A lot of the other kids some were musicians, some were actors and actresses. they all came and auditioned, and it wasn't much of an audition. It was more of show up in white and you can be in the video as long as we're happy. And
I love it. Okay, cool. I just had to make that detour because we were talking
no,
about
it's
the
all
kids
good.
right there.
It's all good.
You guys are pretty spiritual, right? So in 2019, the good Lord took you off the road right before some crazy shit went down worldwide. Now, before that, you guys are touring 300 plus. I've heard 380 shows a year.
Yeah,
Forever. Like you guys were just nonstop touring. So
that's right.
tell me about how that process worked. That, and we're going to say it's the dude up there. There's just something that said, why don't you guys just kick it at home for a while?
Yeah.
How did that all happen?
We had been doing it for such a long time. I believe we were the hardest working band in the biz for a long time, man. I mean, nonstop shows.
That number 380 is a real number, right?
Well, if you count the daytime shows,
Hey, you played, right?
Daytime shows,
That's crazy.
nighttime shows, plus radio shows.
Sure.
So, you could make it a real number, but
Well, for sure it's over 300 a year. Yeah, like that's crazy.
yeah.
Like keep interrupting you. I'm so sorry.
No, man, you're not interrupting me, brother. It's perfect. So anyways, just working and working and working, man, making the most of everything that we could, trying to stay grounded with our beliefs, with our family, with our, friends and things like that, just trying to stay humble and normal, I guess you could say,
Grounded.
grounded in the way we grew up and stuff, having friends and trying to go bowling with some friends, go fishing, go, hang out with the kids and try to read to them at night, all the stuff, and so trying to find that balance was always a challenge. But when it came in 2019, I think we had sort of reached a point in time in our lives where it was time for more reflection than anything. It was just time for that. We were coming into our adulthood, and we had already been parents and turning into grandparents and things like that. And so really sitting back for those about 3 years, just sitting back, reflecting on the entire ride, which Henry calls a Texas twister or Texas tornado, he'll call it. But it was just a whirlwind of just everything that had happened to Los Lonely Boys. And so I don't remember where the last show was, but we played this show and we were just tired, dude. And I said, let me rephrase that. When I say I said it, I was the vessel that was used to say it, because it was never in our deck of cards to call it quits or anything like that. And so I was made to say that I was done. And the brothers didn't want it, but they did too. And so, man, kept getting calls from the manager and things. And I wasn't answering the phone, and brothers and I didn't talk for a bit of time. We all needed time to ourselves. And we all admitted that and agreed to that when we came back together, that was super necessary. And so it just so happened that the world shut down anyways. Those Lonely Boys were coming to a halt no matter what,
Yeah, I love that you guys recognized it, or that it was recognized for you that you needed to take the break right before the shit went down anyway.
Right before it went down, brother. We were going to take that hiatus anyways. And I like to call it a sabbatical, because that's when the day of rest is. And when we got back together, that's when resurrection started happening.
Hold on, we're going to pause there. I don't want to get to resurrection just yet.
All right.
We're going to pause there. We're going to get back to Resurrection in just a second. Resurrection, ladies and gentlemen, is Los Lonely Boys' newest album. It's their first album in like 11 years, and it is kick ass. It's been on repeat at my house for like the day it came out. My wife goes, "Hey, guess what came out today?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And she goes, "The new Los Lonely Boys album." And I go, "Get out of here." She goes, No, I bought it on the way home. So we've been jamming to it forever, dude. We love it.
Man, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Real quick, I got to talk about Heaven. Did Henry write this song?
Yes. The way it goes is Henry was given the song.
All of your songs were given to you, right?
Everything's given. That's how we feel about it. And so, yes, it was Henry's song. But what had happened was when he showed it to Ringo and I, we basically rewrote it and made it this. Nah, that's a joke.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, man, it's a prayer. It's Henry's prayer. The things he was going through in his life at that time, it came out that way. We had loved the song, man. But everyone we kept showing it to was turned off by it.
Whoa.
And bro, it had been pitched to all the labels and all the people and independent labels and everything, and when it came to heaven, everyone was like, "What's this heaven stuff? What does this mean? Why are you singing about heaven and all this?" And when it came about that we met Mr. Steve Barnett over at Sony Epic, he basically loved everything we were doing, including heaven, and he said, "You guys wanna sell 1 million records?" And we were like, no. Who wants to do that, man? And we were like, absolutely.
Okay, so when that song first hit, now I know that you all loved the song. Did you have any idea where that song was going to take you guys?
I'm not going to sit here and lie, bro. Nah, man. We have, faith in all our songs that they're going to do something, and you know it when you sing it because you feel it and you get chills or you tear up or something, it makes you, it moves the emotion and it creates an emotional roller coaster, if you will. But nah, man, I've never really looked at any of our songs and say, hey, those are going to be hits, but we sure have listened to a lot of our songs and go, that could be a hit.
I know that it took you guys everywhere, but here in South Texas, when that song hit, that song was on Tejano stations, pop stations, country stations. It was on like the easy listening stations. That song, I don't know if there was a record, a genre that it wasn't on. It was even on the rock stations.
It was on Christian radio and all that.
Well, I don't listen to that, so.
No, but I'm just saying it landed on. I mean, I don't really listen to that either, sure. But it was on.
It was on every
format.
As far as I know, in my lifetime, that's the most crossover hit of all time. I can't name a song that other than that one that made radio play on that many different genres of radio. It was outstanding.
You kind of can't take credit for it or anything, and I mean, hey, I know people in the biz, they do their work, they pay their money, they do their deals, whatever. But once it starts to gain its own momentum, you can't, and with our belief, man, it was meant to do that because it was greater than us. Because it's singing about something. It's a hopeful thing for millions of people, man. You know what I'm saying? The concept and the idea, the traditionalized idea or whatever of it is something that goes bone deep with many people and whatnot. And it hits home, man, even for people that don't believe.
I was about to say that same thing.
Even for people that don't believe.
It gives them hope. It gives them something.
It also lets them know that even if they don't believe in that, something is there and it's real, and no matter what.
This is going to be a huge ask, but since this song is like 22 years old, I'm going to ask anyway. Can I play that song on this episode?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, will you do me a favor? This is my favorite thing.
I'm not singing, bro.
Damn it, no. Will you introduce that song like you're a radio DJ?
You got it. Hey, everybody, you're jamming with JoJo Garza of Los Lonely Boys here on Fascination Street, and we're listening to that big hit of Los Lonely Boys, Heaven.
Tell me. I've been locked up way too long in this crazy world. How far is heaven? And I just keep on praying, Lord, have some faith, and just keep on giving. How far is heaven? Yeah, Lord, can you tell me? How far is heaven? I just gotta know how far you. How far is heaven? Yeah, Lord, can you tell me? How far is heaven? I just gotta know how far. I just wanna know how far.
Now we're going to talk about Resurrection. Like I said earlier, my wife bought this album the day it came out. We've played the shit out of it. Ever since I found out you were going to be on, I was trying to decide which is my favorite song on there, and I can't. And then my wife was trying to decide which is her favorite song, and she can't. So I need your help. You said that Heaven was basically Henry's prayer. I need you to tell me about when Henry brought you guys Send More Love. In the same vein, it's a similar story, right?
Yeah, it's very similar. I mean, we hadn't talked for I think somewhere close to 3 months or something like that, and we hadn't heard any music or anything like that. And when we finally met up with each other, we were big hugs, big kisses, a lot of tears, just happy to see each other. And we had done the family thing. We started showing each other some of the things we had been coming up with while we weren't around each other and stuff. And that was one of the songs that Henry had put on the table, and he was like, check this out. And as you can see, when you look at the credits, his boys are singing backgrounds. And a lot of people don't know too, man, is that's actually Henry playing the bass on Send More Love.
Well, what are you doing? Oh, you don't get any credit on this song at all?
No, he let me produce it.
Sure, yeah.
And so basically, he had already come up with this whole structure and all this stuff, and it was pretty much done. And then, when Ringo and Henry had decided to let me sit in the producer's chair, I got my hands on it and I did what I did or whatever, blah, blah, blah to it. But the thing is that when he brought that song, I told him, I said, Henry, man, the last time you came up with a song like this, and I believed it, and I still believe it. I don't believe it's reached its, total potential yet as of this time, per se. But I said, bro, the last time you wrote a song like this, man, we became Los Lonely Boys to the entire world. And I still feel that about the song, but a lot of those songs were songs we had come up with either right before we got off the road or sometime before that too. Some were during the COVID thing, like songs like Dance With Me was one that I had brought to the table and had shown them to and gone like, hey, check this out. And but all of the songs were basically in the vault. Some of them were in the vault, like Natural Thing. That song had been in the vault for 20 years, man, 15 years, 20 years.
Whoa.
And then we were at the point of seeing who's singing what songs, and we realized Ringo didn't have a song, and we were trying to write a song. It wasn't working, and we started talking about songs, and he out of nowhere goes, I want to do Natural Thing. And I'm going to tell you right now, brother, as many times as we tried to record it or tried to put it on an album or whatever, it just never made it. I think that timing is the perfect culprit for why it is on this album. I think it's a spotlight song that showcases Ringo's maturation with his vocal abilities and his, ability to do the way he delivers and the way he can bring you in with him in what he's singing about, and him making that decision or bringing it up. It just, hey man, 20 years later and we're playing this song like Painted Memories was something Henry had years before too, and and just never got played with. And then finally, but see, I always loved that song too. I told him, man, I said, man, put that on a disc for me, man. Let me, I want to listen to it while I'm driving or whatever. And man, it always brought a tear to my eye. Just such a great song. But a song like Wish You Would.
The first song on the album, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love that song so much.
Thanks, brother. Henry and I were in the studio there at Lonelyville Studio. We honestly said, let's play a fun song or make something fun up, and try to sound like the Beatles or Oasis or, something in that realm of music. We were just messing around, literally, and we just started playing on the piano, and he's playing the right hand, and I'm playing left hand, right hand, and we're just playing around, man. And this little thing was born, and I came back home to my studio that night, and the next day or day or two later, I had structured out a song, and I went and showed Henry, and I was like, check this out, this is that song. And he was like, dude, no way. And so we had written the lyrics on the way back. We had done a little stint out there at Sonic Ranch in El Paso or Tornillo. And on our way back, after recording that, we recorded the drums there and we recorded the bass there. Sonic Ranch is an amazing place. Anyways, on our way home, we just were working on lyrics. We came up with a few together. Then I got home and I was like, okay, we got to finish this up. It's rolling. And so that's how that one was written. Each song has its own story, but it's a beautiful thing when you can bring songs to each other, projects. Each one's just delivering something like that's just amazing.
I think that, from listening to some other interviews and reading what I've read and talking to you, I think that your guys' whole career has been guided by, I'm just going to call it the hand of God. And so I think that some of those songs that were written, 15, 20 years ago that didn't make it on albums and didn't make it on albums and didn't make it on albums were just waiting for this one because it was divine. Like it was supposed to happen that way.
I was going to say it's divine purpose.
Well,
and that's what we accredit it to always. And we always have. It's just now being who we are in our age and our time. And we have a job to do. And that is to spread a message that's not about us. So sometimes, doing interviews and things, some people will get a little tired of hearing these guru-like things or religious-like things or spiritual-based. Anyways, it doesn't matter because we still have to talk about it because that's what is the basis of what we are. And I'm not going to sit here and tell someone that we are this religion or that religion or not religion, this and that. But I will tell you that the creator of all things in existence, his purpose is what we are here to express. We do our best to do it through music, through family, through brotherhood, and, between friends and brothers and sisters and things. And
through love.
That's just what it is, man. We just try to push each other, like you and me too, man. We're just trying to spread that message that love is real. It is absolutely real. It cannot be defeated, no matter if it seems to go away even for a day or a year even, or a certain amount of time. You'll always return home.
You said a thing a while back. I want you to break it down for me and the listeners. You said, and I quote, "Even in the dark, the light of the moon is still light." What does that mean?
Well, basically what it means is one of the scriptures reads, and I believe it was Enoch, either Enoch or Methuselah, one of them, they said something similar it says, to the unrighteous, the night is sort of scary, but to the righteous, we recognize the light of the moon. It's a lesser light, but it is light. And so what I was saying was basically that no matter how dark it is somewhere, even if you're not getting that gleam of light from the moon, it is still shining light and the stars are still burning light. Basically, what it means is if there is light, there can be no darkness. And everything that we do and say, the purpose of it is to dispel darkness within a soul, a human being, in a moment, in a lifetime, whatever we're given that chance with someone. Once again, that's not something that we chose to be, but something that was chosen for us.
I'm so glad I asked. I love that. Thank you.
Hey, streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors. Let's get back into it.
Okay, you produced this new record. Tell me how that came to be and how flattered you were when the brothers said, "Hey, JoJo."
First, I'd like to clarify that we absolutely did this all together from the start to finish, even when it comes to the producing thing. The thing is that they allowed me to sit in a seat, sort of if you're running a ship and you know what push and where to move and this and so they gave me that. And I still, even to this day, man, I not sure why they did.
Yeah, you are. It's faith.
Well, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. That it's just we have done work with so many great producers, man. We have been in and out of the studios for years, brother. And if we can't get our own sound, then no one can. And so they were like, "You want to do this work?" And I was like, "Sure, I know how to do this and that and this and that." And oh man, I was completely I don't know if the word is even flattered, brother. I just was completely like, wow, man, thanks guys for the opportunity to let me shine as that type of thing. And man, I'll tell you what, bro, and this is when we're doing interviews all together and stuff, I hear what they say. I don't say those things, but I've heard them say things like, and I don't even feel right even just quoting them, but it's like them saying things like, JoJo just has this ear or this thing. And man, I'm so thankful that they feel that way because I feel the same way about them too, man. Man, we all got each other's back and we're all the greatest to each other, man.
Well, I'm thankful that they feel that way too, because like I said, this album, Resurrection, is bonkers. It's so badass.
Well, we also got to give some love and shout out to Chris Jillin over at Opus Audio Labs.
I was gonna say, tell me about how that worked, because like he wasn't even with y'all.
No, well, he wasn't. And the love, that we send out to Chris Jillin over at Opus Audio Labs, man, I mean, is we're just super thankful. And it's a relationship. We had met him through a friend of a friend named Jim Tulio, who has been in the business forever. And he introduced us to Chris years before when the COVID thing had happened and Los Lonely Boys got off the road. Henry and Chris came together and worked together. And so then the brothers, we all got together, and then Chris, we were all together now. And so, I mean, look, man, he's like, he'll say, no, we all try to, be nice and humble and not. But I tell the guy, I go like, look, I don't care if you like me saying this or not, but you are a scientist of sound. I'm like, because as much as I've seen through the years with everybody, and even including like Steve Shady, man, the dude is amazing that we did work with in our early years up at Willie Nelson's place and stuff. I mean, we learned so much from him too. But at this where we're at now, it was Chris Jillin. And so the ability to be able to record not in the same rooms, not in the same houses, not in the same towns, not in the same states, man. I was mixing the album while driving to California because he was able to bring it up on my radio, well, which was through my phone, through an app, and then through the speakers. Had another phone there to be able to talk, and we're doing mixes and turn this down, turn that up, turn this, pull it out, move it forward, move it up. You know how all that goes. And so he brought the ability to be able to do this thing in a manner that I believe it's still being exposed to the industry, man. Barely, I feel like he's one of the pioneers. I really do, because if he didn't know what to do, he dang sure figured it out. And that's something that he brought to the table and that he still brings to the table, because we still work together day in and day out, man.
Okay, only a few more questions, and I promise I'll let you get to dinner.
Okay.
I need you to tell me about your Willie Nelson shirt and how you got it.
Oh man, that's a great story, man. He was a hero of our dad's, the Four Horsemen, Willie and the Outlaws and things like that. Willie Whalen, Chris Christopherson, and Johnny Cash. So they were a big influence on our dad, and man, he raised us on that too, learning all about that. And so we had just been playing in Austin, we had been with our manager, Kevin Womack. He introduced us to some people here and there, and it just so happens that he introduced us to a guy named Freddie Fletcher. That was Willie Nelson's nephew. And we're like, "You're not Willie Nelson's nephew, man." And he's like, "Yeah, I am." And we're like, "Yeah, right, man, whatever, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "I'll have him at your show at, I think it was a place called Momo's or something." He goes, I'll have him at your show tomorrow or whenever the show was. And we were like, "Sure, dude, whatever, fine, whatever." Dude, he brought his uncle, Willie Nelson, to our show in Austin, Texas, at a little bitty bar upstairs, a restaurant called, I think it was Momo's. And in walks Willie Nelson. We had to stop playing. We literally said, "We're taking a break," because Willie Nelson just walked in here. And man, we're so grateful, man. We're like, man, Freddie, dang, dude, and just loving him and everything. And we're like, Willie, man, we love you very much. But if we got to be honest with you, man, our dad, you're one of his major heroes, man. And so would you call him and all these things? And yeah, and I mean, he made great friends with the family. They invited us into their homes and into their family to a degree that's we're like family, man. And so it's beautiful. But he was wearing this shirt with a bunch of little guitars, man. And we just all happened to tell him at different times, cool shirt, man. And we got to sitting down at one table together. And he was like, I'm going to get y'all a couple shirts like this. Where do I send them? And we were like, really, man? And so they sent, I'm pretty sure they got sent to Kevin. Man, one day they were brought to us and given to us. And they were like, look, man, these are the shirts. Willie Nelson bought us shirts. He gave us the shirts off his back, at least copies of them.
Sure. I love that. Okay, so The Who.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Do I got to say any more? Tell me about how The Who kind of got you guys back out there.
Yeah, that's the return of Los Lonely Boys. That's the first live things we did as a Resurrection coming back. I was saying earlier, that's where Resurrection was born, was when we decided to start, because we didn't know if we were going to play again, man. We really didn't. We didn't know if we were going to play. We didn't know if we were going to keep recording together or anything. It almost turned into just being a recording thing. It might still, you never know what's coming with the time. And so we weren't planning on it or anything, but then out of nowhere, like some 3 years later, which in creator time is like 3 days, as they say, Anyways, they were like, hey, would you guys be interested in opening for The Who for these dates? And we were like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? And we talked amongst just ourselves, not with the team or anything, and just looking at each other and going, guys, what a greater return, like to be hitting these big, huge stages and stadiums and things like that and arenas and stuff. And so we finally made the decision to let's give it a shot. And believe it or not, bro, and I know my brothers will say the same thing, there was a bit of nervousness there. There was something there that we were like, we haven't done this in a minute, man. And from that moment we hit the stage, man, I'm not even kidding, bro. That very first night we played, we had to fight off tears because we were just so grateful and so thankful and so united and, or conjunto together. And we just looking at each other and just realizing that this is bigger than just us, man. And what a way to come back, bro, man.
It is outstanding. Everybody, Los Lonely Boys is back on tour. They're on tour right now all over New Mexico, Texas, Washington, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa, Illinois, Arizona, everywhere. Go check out loslonelyboys.com. They're on tour right now. They're going everywhere. They're going to be in San Antonio at the Aztec Theater February 16th with Del Castillo opening. And, bro, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm pretty sure that my wife and I are going to see you there.
Heck yeah, man. I was going to say, you got to come out, man.
We're very excited.
I'm really glad to hear that, bro. I just want to say thank you for finding interest in what we do and finding inside of you and what you do to be able to spread the message of Los Lonely Boys, that we are still here and we've been here and we're still making music and we're going to keep doing that. And I just want to thank you for your time. Great questions. Great interview, man. Thank you for spreading the word, brother.
100% my pleasure. Los Lonely Boys is not going anywhere, guys, except on tour everywhere. I know at the top, I couldn't narrow it down, dude. I couldn't figure it out, which was my favorite song off this album, whether it was Wish You Would or Send More Love. But after hearing you talk about it, I think that settled on Send More Love. That's my favorite track. So I'm going to ask you for a big favor. I want everybody listening to get an idea of what this new album, Resurrection, is all about. It's the first album in like 11 years, and it kicks ass. I want everybody to check this out. Can we give them a taste? Can I play Send More Love?
Man, I think that would be great, brother, to play Send More Love. Play them all. Play whatever you want to, man.
No, I'm not going to play them all. I'm not playing them all.
No, I'm just saying, but yeah, absolutely. Let's spread the message of Send More Love, man, because we need that every day, brother.
All day, every day. Like, your divine purpose is to spread love, and I think that we all need to take a little ownership of that and help spread love as well.
Amen to that, brother.
Everybody, check out this track. It's my favorite song off the new album, Resurrection, by Los Lonely Boys. It is called Send More Love.
since I've spoken to you. We've seen a lot of miles and hearts broken too. I'm calling with a smile, with tears in my eyes. It's so hard to say what should be no surprise. This world is going crazy. This world is going crazy. The world is going crazy. Can you send more love? Send more love. Well, since I've got you on the line, guess I'll give you the rest. Nobody's doing fine, and we're all just a mess. They're saying right is wrong, and they're saying wrong is right. Nobody tells the truth, 'cause it's easier to lie. This world is going crazy. This world is going crazy. Please help, it's going crazy. Can you send more love? Yeah. I wanna thank you for your time. I move on with my test. The rhythm and the rhyme finally got them off my chest. To find a better love, you know I'll never find. Your love is all we need, going out of our mind. This world is going crazy. This world is going crazy. This world is going crazy. Please, Lord, it's going crazy. Can you send more? Send more love. Send more love. Can you send it, Lord? Send love, 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 love. That's all we need is your love, love, love. Please send that love, love. Oh, now send more love.
All right, JoJo, dude, thank you so much.
Man, brother, thank you.
Before I let you go, is there anything we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about that you specifically wanted to talk about today? Like, did we cover the big bits?
No, man, I think everything that, your interest of the questions that you give, it's exactly this type of stuff we would talk about, man. I mean, because we're here, we're making music, we're still spreading love, we're doing our best to just continue on doing what has been given us to do.
Fantastic. Well, JoJo Garza of Los Lonely Boys. Everybody, go check them out all over the internet. They're on loslonelyboys.com. Their Instagrams, all the things. Go check them out everywhere.
Yep.
Follow them and make sure you check them out on tour right now, all over the country. Go to loslonelyboys.com, click on the tour dates. It's going to be a city near you. Oh my gosh. JoJo, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day and your hectic raising all your kids and teaching them how to play all the instruments schedule to hang out and let us get to know you a little bit better on Fascination Street, man. I really appreciate it.
I do too, man, and I'm honored to be here, brother. Thank you.
I can't wait to see you next weekend, and you have a great rest of your week, dude. Travel safe, man.
All right, brother. Blessings to you.
Let me be the first one to welcome you back to San Antonio when you get here.
Orale. Sounds good.
All right. Bye, buddy.
Later, bro.
Opening music is the song FSP Theme, written, performed, and provided by Ambush Vin.
Closing music is from the song Say My Name off the 2021 album Underdog Anthems, used with permission from Jax Hollow. If you like the show, tell a friend. Subscribe and rate and review the show on iTunes and wherever else you download podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All the episodes are available there as well. Check me out on Vero at Fascination Street Pod and TikTok at Fascination Street Pod. And again, thanks for listening.